Good afternoon, folks. I'm going to read a fascinating quote by Dr. Carl Jung about the shadow. The fact is that if one tries beyond one's capacity to be perfect, the shadow descends into hell and becomes the devil. Carl Jung, Vision Seminar, page 569. You know, there was a conflict between two cousins when America was being founded. Samuel Adams, the man that got his name on the beer, was a hothead. And he was trying to create a conflict between two opposing sides, which is indicative of the Hegelian dialectic, by provoking kids to violence and attacking British troops. Someone fired, and then the British fired back, and there were deaths involved in the situation. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Samuel Adams was trying to manipulate both sides so he could move forward his desire for revolution. But his cousin John Adams, who became the second president of the United States, had to intervene. He was a lawyer, and he knew that if the rule of law didn't mean anything in the founding of the new nation, that America would never succeed, because it would be a nation built on an utter lack of virtue. I posted a wonderful vlog by PragerU today, and I'm going to read part of the transcript of that vlog. Today the term virtue seems anachronistic, a notion from the past. But to Adams, America's survival as a free country depended on it. The preservation of liberty, he wrote, depends on the intellectual and moral character of the people. As long as knowledge and virtue are diffused generally among the body of a nation, it is impossible they should be enslaved. In a monarchy, Adams noted, the people don't need virtue. They can be as vicious and foolish as they please, because all political responsibility lies in the hands of the king and his retinue. In a republic, however, the people are the government. So the virtue of the state is a reflection of the virtue of the people. Given that human nature is deeply flawed, this created an obvious problem of which Adams was painfully aware. I have seen all along my life, he observed, such selfishness and littleness that I sometimes tremble to think that, although we are engaged in the best cause that ever employed the human heart, the prospect of success is doubtful, not for want of power or of wisdom, but of virtue. It's really interesting that Carl Jung recognized that if we try to be better than what we're capable of being, that our shadow will descend into hell and bring back the devil. Virtuous men do not want to control or manipulate the lives of others. And it requires an utter narcissistic naivety to believe that you are more virtuous or moral than other men and women when your actions don't account for your virtue. We are currently being governed by people whose agenda is to create two opposing sides in a conflict so that they will be the ones to emerge as the victors of that conflict. That is why in Trudeau's actions, his words are always belied. Yesterday was truth and reconciliation. First of all, there was no truth, and the end result wasn't to reconcile a darn thing. The truth of the matter is, what went wrong is that all were not being treated equally and identically under the law. When you create special status for some, it will always mean that status is removed from others. That is why the law must be applied without prejudice, and why that statement, without prejudice, is an important attachment to legal documents. People have utterly forgotten the virtue of English common law, and this is why they've forgotten it. They recognize all the flaws of our ancestors without recognizing their own. And they don't believe that anybody who had inherent flaws would be so aware of those flaws that they would legislate a system of governance that would prevent those flaws from literally corrupting the government. This is what John Adams was referring to. There is no virtue in modern government, and our leaders believe themselves to be far more moral than who and what they are. There's something to ponder, and also to think about. It's time we all get in touch with our shadow self and incorporate it, or it's going to descend into hell and bring back the devil. Have a great day.